Molinary.
Guys, this wind is blowing as hard as it's blown all day, and this kind of weak right's got to go to carry that bunker. And it did.
Colleague and good friend Mark Immelman reached out to me to say that Francesco no longer working with Dennis Pugh's, now working with James Ridgett, middle of last year. Still working on that golf swing, trying to free things up a little bit.
RoryMcIlroy at the tee.
Coming off a disappointing par. This not really the hole to try to get a shot back on, though. Long par 3. This is a good-looking shot, just right of the hole.
In years past, this green was nearly impossible to hold, especially you see it 207 yards. The tee is elevated, and if you get this down breeze and this green dries out, you are very pleased to get the ball anywhere on the putting surface.
TyrellHatton with his disappointing par at 16.
Very disappointing par, and just trying to keep his blood from boiling over.
TyrellHatton from just off the green.
Very, very surprised he chose to putt. It wasn't that tough of a chip. It was a very good lie.
Molinary for birdie, Robert. What's he looking at here?
Well, just a little right to left in this. It's on the longer side for me to say. I expect him to make it, but it's a pretty easy putt all in all from this distance.
PGA Tour make from this distance is only 7%. It's 30 feet from the hole. Back to 17. RoryMcIlroy looking over this birdie attempt.
Well, no more than split the right lip, probably inside right. I look for this to go in after kind of losing a shot on the last hole, even though it makes what it feels like losing a shot. Oh yeah.
Well, the disappointment, Robert, from the par on the previous hole to jump right back and birdie the 17th. That's fantastic.
Last year, I mean, it was so windy. It was like bowling out there. It really was. TyrellHatton. Par. His body language says it all.
One of the classic closing holes on the PGA Tour, the 18th at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge, and it is an intimidating tee shot. You really cannot see the ball land. It crests over the hill. The water begins down the right at about 325 yards, and then this is this iconic green, half a boomerang. Got the rocks protecting the front part of the green. And hole location right in the very front today.
This playing back into the wind, it is a beast today. Be tricky with that front hole location, this low and right up the middle.
It's good to see him hit a different shaped shot here. Instead of launching it high, flight it down. Didn't carry it a long way, but would get the release landing on the downslope. Hitting some shots, great to see.
Everyone in this group knows what it takes to play this 18th hole. All winners of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. You see FrancescoMolinary, Robert.
You just want to avoid right and right on cue. Francesco said it right. This is the deepest rough on the course, and you've got to come in over the water. That's going to be...
TyrellHatton on the tee at 18.
This flirting right and actually the wind's starting to move it. This can be right rough also.
And Robert mentioned it's some of the thickest rough on the golf course, and now most of the time players hit it in the rough there on 18. It's nearly...
FrancescoMolinary's second shot at 18. 170 out.
And even though there's a group on the green. Francesco going in and hit because he had to lay way back. He had a horrible lie.
TyrellHatton trying to take the water out of play at 18. The second.
Yeah, I told you this is the worst rough on the course. It's just 2 pitch outs. They both had just horrendous lies, and that was the best they could do.
Yeah, able to force it down there a little bit more. And he certainly keeps pushing the limits.
RoryMcIlroy's second shot just shy of the green.
It wasn't the easiest shot for 125, but that was a pretty poor shot, hanging out to the right like that. I mean, in the air for a moment, it even looked like rocks could be involved.
Yeah, it's scary to, Robert, to your point, 125, that whole location, just four paces from the edge, and it's part of the game that he has struggled controlling. You think he has so many wedges throughout a round of golf, throughout a tournament. That's where the focus should be majority of the time.
Absolutely. Trust those flags there.
Molinary having a conversation about his third.
At 96 yards, this is a good yardage. You can throw it a yard or 2 past the hole. Be aggressive and maybe get some spin. A little long left, bring it in close. No, just not giving the wind enough credit. The ball didn't come close to flying far enough.
Back to the iconic 18th hole, and you really can't think about this hole without kind of having flashbacks of what Arnold Palmer has done on this hole.
Just the driver off the deck with Sam Soren is on the bag. I think that's one of those enduring images.
Tyrrell can't really back it up from this close, but it's a good-looking shot. Oh, maybe he can back it up a little bit. That was just clipped.
Still.
Hey, Robert, you've been around Bay Hill and Mr. Palmer your whole life. What's one of your lasting memories of the great King?
I mean, there are so many. I mean, you know, I've played, it had to be 100 rounds. I don't know whether it's been, Lord knows how many thousand hours in the locker room, but I had the great fortune of being paired with him in this golf tournament in 2003, the first 2 rounds. And, you know,
He's
even though
fine there. He's okay, guys. He's okay. Hold up.
it's not me he's yelling at.
It's okay. He's fine. Hey, he's fine.
I gotta get that sorted out, but you know, it was standing ovation every hole. Just a beautiful thing with great Mr. Palmer.
Well, he's certainly the best friend this game ever knew, for sure.
No doubt. I mean, from what we did on the course to what we're doing right now, we owe a big debt to Mr. Palmer.
And frustrations continue.
Body language never lies.
No, that's so true. So true. The body language of Molinary hasn't been great so far through 8 holes.
No, it certainly hasn't. I mean, he didn't hit the best of wedges, but this putt can be made. It's just swinging from his left to right a little bit. In a sloppy 9 holes, I mean, even if he gets this in and gets away at 1 over, he stole a few.
McIlroy, par after that frustrating third shot.
Yeah, good idea to take that little extra time to cool your jets. This is an important putt for his psyche, no question about it.
He really didn't have his best stuff last week. at the WGC event at the concession, but still finished sixth. So obviously, the expectations are so high for Rory that we really haven't seen frustration like this out of Rory early in a tournament.
No, you're right. I mean, he really doesn't get that frustrated ever. This is about as hot as he gets, but for, 9 holes where he broke par by 1 and hit some really good shots, he is irritated. Let the spectator or someone get in his head before his chip shot.
Shento, you talked about how well he played prior to the shutdown after the Players' Championship. He talked about struggling to reignite his game throughout the summer, maybe the lack of the juice and the energy from the crowd, and it's sort of, I would say it's really carried over into this season. Rory's 40th in the FedEx Cup. We never expect him to be outside the top 5.
TyrellHatton misses his par attempt.
That's best ball bogey for this threesome.
Couple donated balls on that hole.
Might have to run to the locker room and grab another couple of sleeves.
TyrellHatton makes the turn, +3.
-2.